Hi, so I made my first ever journal and it's nothing too complicated or crazy, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and this is how I made it. So I came across a video by Treasure Books where she dyed paper with avocados and I said I have to try this. I have linked her video in the description if you want to watch the original how-to. A lot of fun making it and I'm very proud of how it turned out. I saved 8 dried avocado skins and pits, put them in the pot, covered them with water, added a very heaping teaspoon of baking soda, brought it to a boil, and then added another teaspoon of baking soda, brought it back to low, and simmered for about an hour. And it creates this very red natural dye. So I filtered all that through a coffee filter, took out the skins and pits, and then started soaking some printer paper. Just regular printer paper. Bloop. Completely submerged, so we're just gonna push that down so the whole thing gets coated. I got maybe 10 to 20 pages this first go round. Alright, I got this pressed watercolor paper that I'm just gonna do some of those, see how it soaks. I also got some paper doilies to try. It's not gonna fit. I might just have to fold this over. Okay. Some of the papers were floating up, so I put the avocado pits on top. So after those soaked for about 4 hours, and after I put my kids to bed, I started to take these out, drip off as much liquid as I could have come off, and then lay them out to dry. Yeah, that one ripped and I learned I have to use 2 hands. After I took all the papers out of the pan to dry, I filled it up again with some more paper I had. Then when those had soaked for an hour, I transferred everything to the table. I definitely ran out of space and just started throwing stuff on any type of cardboard or anything I had sitting around. So I poured out whatever liquid I had left, microwaved it one more time, poured it back in the pan, and soaked my fabric. Well, good morning. It's day 2 after the long night of laying these all out to dry and then soaking some more paper and then laying them out to dry. Oh yeah, some of these fell. I just was running out of space and I needed to get them drying quickly so I could go to bed. It looks like a bloody mess over here. Papers everywhere. Probably gonna have to iron some of these. This is actually the fabric one. Yeah. And then this is a fabric one as well. Good job. Real gentle. Oh, look! You can see a design on that one. Oh, I'm really happy with that. I wanted something to have a cool design. So, can you guess which ones I dried on the cardboard? Here's our fabric. Alright, so now we are going to iron some paper. Yes, you can iron paper and it will not burn. Now I'm very curious, like, how long could you leave that there? I did know that you could iron money. Do some origami. You should iron your bills first. Let's see. That's been a decent... See, it's starting to blink like, hey, I'm going to turn off because you haven't picked me up, so I'll pick it up. Okay, that was long enough. It did leave a little bit of a mark. So, don't leave it for too long or it could darken your page. But, I mean, it did not catch on fire. Look, can you see that? So you can also iron money and it will not burn. There's some fabric in money too. It's not just straight up paper, but even if it was, now you know. You can get all those wrinkles out. And that is called money laundering. Onto our paper. This was a watercolor paper. You could also just spray it with water and then put a heavy book on, and then as it dries, it would be flat again. I really loved how this turned out. We got some fun little design on it. nice and flat. It didn't burn. I love doing this. Last night, just pushing the paper down into the red liquid and then dripping it out and laying it out, and then now after it's all dried and has this crinkly feel, ironing it out and seeing this beautiful color, feeling the warmth, smelling. It doesn't smell bad. It's paper and avocado. Actually kind of nice smelling. I just love it. It's so much fun. I feel like I'm doing something. The process is enjoyable, but you also get very unique results that this paper doesn't exist anywhere. You can't buy this paper. Especially after trying to do things online, this is so much more satisfying to me. So the stack on the left soaked for 4 hours and the one on the right was 1 hour. So they ended up being about the same color. And let's not forget the fabric. So now that everything's dyed, it is time to actually make the journal. So that's pretty thick. Plus I'm gonna fold it in half. This is gonna be the cover. They're not perfectly even. And I think that's okay as long as it's consistently not perfectly even. This is sticking out beyond. So I'm thinking maybe I'll cut that. I used a small sharper needle to put the holes where I needed them, then used a larger one to sew the thing together with the embroidery thread. And this is kind of tricky to follow what's happening, but I went through the middle first, then down about 1 inch, back through the middle, 1 inch up on the other side, back through the middle. I did that twice so that it was a little stronger. Then I put the needle back through the middle, just enough to cut it and tie it. So I was left with a long strand that I cut and began to braid. I added some beads, a key, and tied it off. After weighing it down with books for 24 hours, here's the final look. Thank you for sticking around and watching my video. If you enjoy this type of thing, if you are creative, if you like making stuff, or if you just want to watch me make stuff, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to make more creative content. I'm trying to do more art. I'm preparing for a Narnia fair, and I have just made a jester costume, and that's the next video coming out. Anyway, if you're interested in following along with any of that, I just started Patreon. It is free, or you can pay $3 a month. So you pick, and then you're able to see all of my updates, all of the work in progress stuff is going to be on there. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, you can hit the link in the description and that'll take you over to the Patreon. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe you could try dyeing some stuff with avocado yourself. All right, yep, that's all.